Our guest on the Cyber Couch today is my good friend, Brian Ritter. And we're going to talk about a lot of different things, a lot of different reasons why he is our guest today. But Brian, before we talk about that, tell us a little bit about your family. Tell us about Gabby and the children. Just brag on the fam for a minute.
Okay, so I do have the best wife ever, Gabrielle.
Hold on. I have the best one.
No, and maybe in Crestwood you do, but in
Definitely in
Bend-Par
Crestwood, no doubt.
is going to be Gabrielle. So she is a stay-at-home mom, one of the hardest jobs ever, I think. And so then we have three children. Brent, BR3, is 11. Alicia is 7, and Malachi is 5.
Wow, man.
And I can just say that Brent is the entertainer. He loves to entertain and make people laugh. That's his joy. That's his passion. Alicia is an artist, and she loves sending people cards and writing letters, and she's just the glue. She's very compassionate. She's got like a teacher or a nurse heart. I'm not sure where that's going to go, but that's a good mix. And Malachi is just full of life and just full head on like a brick wall in a good way. And he's just very much going at it and trying different things. And so he's very good. Yeah.
For people that come to our church on a Sunday morning, Alicia is the little girl that in the middle of worship runs up and attacks me, just jumps into my arms on Sunday mornings. If you sit around me, that's Alicia that he's talking about. And,
yes, that is a priority of hers. When she comes to church, she immediately tries to find you and make sure that you get the hug of the week.
And I get it, man. I'm telling you, I'm feeling it. I'm ready to roll when Alicia shows up at church on Sundays. That's an awesome thing. How long have you and Gabby been married?
We have been married for 17 years. We've been together for 24.
Wow. You dated a long time. I forgot
We did. It was good. It was very good.
BR, yesterday I was wearing a Pinecrest t-shirt from when you and I both were part of leadership in ZAP. 2 days in a row, I wore old Pinecrest t-shirts when I was out doing stuff in the yard or whatever. And I thought about you and Jesse Pratt and all that whole team of people that we used to hang out with when we were, helping lead ZAP. And those are good days. How many years did you spend serving in the youth group here?
20 years. And it was just a lot of really good memories. I got to see the Holy Spirit do a lot of wonderful things in kids. And at the same time, a lot of very funny memories were made and godly at the same time. They were funny and godly at the same time. And I was just, there's something about working with people in ministry that solidifies a relationship. Like you see people afterwards, after both parties have left the ministry, and there's just a connection you still have with them that's undescribable. And so I'm very grateful for many people that have, I've gotten to have the privilege to work with and still get to chat with them every now and then.
I talk to people all the time about that same thing, Brian, they'll say, well, how did you get close to so-and-so? Well, we were in war together. We were serving teenagers together. We were in a life and death prayer meeting together. So what are the ingredients to make a relationship? I don't know, go to war. I can't just throw you in a room and hope. There's got to be something we're aiming at together.
Right, exactly. Like something that I've been taking BR3 and Alicia is Churches on the Streets, which is a homeless ministry that they meet every Mondays. And just connecting with people from other churches, and you're just giving out toiletries and dry goods, and that's all you're doing. You're not, to me, it's not doing anything powerful, but you're still having that connection of just helping other people together.
That's spectacular.
So it's just, there's something that the Holy Spirit does between the two people.
That's absolutely different right. People. One of the reasons I wanted to have you on, Brian, is that you are an essential worker. By the way, I am an essential worker. I read the 12-page report. I am an essential worker, so I feel good about myself. But you are for sure an essential worker. You've got several different jobs, but your main full-time job is working at Deerberg's, and people. We all have to go to the grocery store. We all have to go get food and the supplies and so forth. And so not only are you essential, but Brian, you are in, I don't want to call it harm's way, but you're in harm's way, meaning like everybody is plowing through grocery stores and in your particular one. So you work in the frozen meat or frozen food?
Frozen food. Mm-hmm.
Frozen food department at a
Yep.
Deerberg. Talk about just what it's like every day. You're going in and now we got the masks and the people are wearing the masks. How different has it become for you just in a day in, day out thing at Deerberg's?
Okay, so first of all, we have a lot less employees during the day. They have decided to make an overnight crew of several different departments who are coming in from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. or 9 p.m. to 5 p.m. and doing as much work as possible during the day, whether it be stocking or putting up new price tags, price changes, those sort of things. They try to get as much product up as possible during that time. During the day, thankfully, I said I did not want to work overnights, and so my schedule is changed, and so you have a lot less workers because we want to have as little amount of people in the store as possible, and so I'm just there to just kind of maintain, ask questions, answer questions, just general things like that, as you would any other typical day, but. Everyone has to wear a mask. If you don't wear a mask, you get sent home. The customers are strongly encouraged, but not required to wear a mask. Vendors that come in and stock their own product, they're required to have a mask also. The typical day is that we open up at 8 o'clock. We strongly encourage 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. for people to shop that are age 60 and above. So they have just a prime opportunity to shop. The biggest challenge of that is that, we're all creatures of habit. And so they still huddle together at the deli department or a different department. They're all huddling and it's like 6 feet apart. You need to, you need to stay at a distance. And so that can be challenging. And then they kind of clump up at the check lane area. And so that gets, a little frustrating, a little challenging, but after that, it's really slow, and which is what we need and what is good. The most people I see are shipped shoppers, which is a grocery delivery service, and so several of those are shopping for other people constantly all day, just coming in, and it could be a 20-item order, it could be 100-item order, just big or small carts.
Brian, do you feel, I said it a minute ago, at risk. Do you feel at risk? I mean, because like I said, everybody's got to go through your grocery store or a grocery store. And so affected, not affected, asymptomatic or whatever, they're going to show up at the grocery store. Do you guys feel extra weight, extra pressure?
It does feel a little intimidating, be able to just I'm touching doors all the time. I'm touching product all the time. And yes, they are going around and cleaning the door handles about every hour. So, I mean, there is sanitizing going, but it does feel like I'm at a high risk. Like, I don't think this mask is just going to help. I just it's just a mask. And yes, there's plexiglass at the check lanes, and there's hand washing stations at the front entrance, but it's a virus. It's so minuscule is what I'm trying to say. And so yeah, I just think it could be at any time, and I just have to trust God. Hi,
Malachi. Hey, Malachi. So BR, okay. you don't feel maybe unbelievably stressed, but there's a stress level added. You're in a personable guy. You want to connect with people. When I'm in the grocery store, wherever I happen to be, when I do wear a mask, it just seems like there's this gigantic communication barrier. I just feel like I wear that mask and it's like, you smile at people and they don't see your smile. Do you feel that even at work? Do you feel like, oh man, we've become more impersonal?
In some, every person is different, and so I feel that way with some people. Like you, they don't even want to say hi to you, and I'm just like, just say hello. I'm not going to give you something by saying hello. But some are, let me say this, for the most part, people have been very friendly and very kind. Um, yes, they are a little precautious about how they're acting or how they approach it. Every person seems to be very conscientious when you're in the aisle to have a distance. So they are doing that, but I think the customers are more cautious. I mean, we are taking precautions, but I think a little more paranoid, I guess, the customers are more than we are.
And then BR, you also, I don't know if Shipped is the right company, but I know
Yes.
you do Uber stuff and you do delivery things as well. Uh, that I don't know if you're doing the Uber thing right now or not, but because of the coronavirus and all that, but that adds a whole nother layer, a whole nother level of interaction with people and what you're doing. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so that's different also in the sense that I used to sometimes take it into their homes. Now it is just on the porch or inside their garage, and then that's at their discretion whether they want to actually see me or not. That's just their comfort level, and so all of them, though, have been very appreciative and very thankful and just grateful on how we just shop and deliver for them. And that just makes us feel good just to be able to do that for them. But yes, some of them are ready with gloves and they're ready to sanitize every single item that is in their grocery bag. Some they just pick it up off the porch and just take it inside. But they've been very gracious and very patient. One of the biggest struggles in the grocery industry right now is obviously the supply. There's been several things that continue to be out of stock, things like beans, rice, pancake mixes, frozen vegetables.
Toilet paper.
Toilet paper and paper towels, that's kind of the given, yes. But those other things people don't realize. Taco and Mexican ingredients, that's constantly out. Just because people are making more stuff at home and want to make easy meals, because the kids are home from school. So those items are constantly out. We have not had yeast in 3 weeks. People are starting to bake bread and other quick breads, and we just can't get any yeast at all. And so that's been a challenge too. So lots of things other than toilet paper and paper towels, those other essential items we just can't get because the suppliers can't produce it fast enough. And now the concern right now is the pork plants. There's at least 2 pork plants that have closed down due to the coronavirus.
Wow.
And a Tyson one has shut down somewhere in Iowa. So that's another growing concern for the food industry as well.
I was just talking to a friend in Cedar Falls, maybe yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, and he said that they had an outbreak at a Tyson plant, and so they were shutting things down. You're in a union. Deerberg's is a union joint, and does the union kind of just help support and encourage through the midst of this? I mean, let me say it differently. Is there a different role the union takes on or is taking on during this time?
Right now, the union president is having a Facebook Live event every Friday at 5 p.m. And so he tries to answer any questions that that people bring up, and he provides any information that might be new. So that's been a great benefit just to have that option.
Brian, this is the first time I've ever done this where I put myself up in the corner and you've got the whole screen with anybody that I've interviewed. This is so much better. I actually feel like I'm talking to you instead of some split screen weird thing. And I don't want you to speak for Gabby, but speak for Gabby. The flip side is the kids are home, and she is a stay-at-home mom, but does some other work on this side too. But the kids are at home and having to do school at home and having to be creative at home. There's a lot of pressure on moms right now, isn't there?
Yes, and I've been just asking for prayer for every stay-at-home mom or dad, because it is extremely difficult. First of all, Gabrielle is an introvert, a very strong introvert,
Come
and
on, baby.
so
That's what I'm talking about.
exactly, you can relate to that.
Yes.
And so that has been really, really hard for her, very difficult. And for the past 3 weeks, I guess our laptop has been broken, and we have not had any access to schoolwork.
Oh,
Schoolwork has been given, and we just haven't had access to it until this week, until about a day or two ago. And so just a lot of stress and difficulty and conflict of just family stuff that goes on in everybody's, I mean, everybody's going through that at some level. And so that's just been very challenging for her. Let's go to the park. Wait, the playground's closed. So we can walk around the park, but we can't go to the park. Well,
mm.
so she's also trying to find ways of seeing if she can go sit in the car and talk to somebody or have the kids play at a social distance somehow. I mean, we're trying to figure out ways how we can do that. So so I guess right now is they'll work on like a subject, one part of a subject a day, and then they'll try to go out or run an errand to the grocery store just to get out because the days have been nice. They take walks every day. So that's been helpful, but still, it's just a very much of a challenge. Um,
Yeah, I think it has to be a challenge for moms with small kids or just families with small kids, school age kids, having to do the work, having to be shut in at some level. This past Sunday, Donna was like, it was this past weekend. My wife is not an introvert. And so my wife was like, we need to have all the neighbors over. And I'm like, why? Because I'm so outgoing. And she sends a text out to a couple of people. Well, we using the neighbor's yard next door, we had like 14 people in our front yard. We had several of them in the yard next door, so we had 10 and more, and uh, and people came out of the woodwork because they wanted to see each other. It was a
right.
nice day, and we socially distanced and all that kind of thing. But
So I'm an extrovert, and that has just been so mentally difficult for me because I'm not talking to anyone because my day looks like 8 hours of Deerbergs, not really interacting with too much. And then I do ship shopping by myself for another 4 hours. And so I'm not seeing anyone really. I'm not talking to anyone. Occasional hello to other ship shoppers that I know, but it's been just very trying, very, very trying. I will say one benefit I have been trying to do is there's one of the home groups we're trying to get together every Friday on Zoom, and so that has been helpful. Brad Schneider has been leading that, and so that's been very good. Very thankful for that. That's been helping, and some folks of ours friends of ours from grade school are trying to meet every Saturday night to do a game on Zoom. And so sometimes I make it, sometimes I don't. But they meet every week and play usually categories, something like that, just to keep interacting with people and not be so shut in.
yeah, our family did categories one night. We did Family Feud one night.
Oh, fun.
We've tried to do some of that kind of stuff too. The kids have some horse racing game where you roll dice and the horse moves. We did that one night, and so there might have been money that exchanged hands in that. I'm not sure. Don't tell anybody. And so yeah, I mean, we have to be creative, right? And everybody's
Yeah,
different at some level. Uh, I'm just fine. Now I miss personal interaction like this. I don't like groups. One-on-one like
right,
this, I would do all day long.
right.
And so I miss this. And yet some people crave it different ways. And like you said, your wife is an introvert, but all of a sudden the kids are around nonstop. And so that's a totally different pressure. So here's one of the things I heard in a prayer meeting the other day. I've been going on the everyday prayer meeting. It's on the phone. There's a phone number to call in. It's through Thrive, St. Louis. And some pastor said the other day that this is a time of sowing. We ought to be learning some things and sowing into some things while we can't be busy doing everything else. And that really provoked me. I thought, what should I be sowing right now? What should our church be sowing? What should, how should we be investing right now? And I wonder, Brian, in the midst of a very busy schedule, meaning you're working 10, 12 hours a day or more, is there anything maybe in the midst of all this, you're feeling like, Lord's kind of teaching me stuff? Is there anything like that you would drop out there on us today?
I am trying to pray to myself while I'm working. That's what I'm noticing. Just try to be more focused on just either praying in the spirit or just praying for certain things or something that the Lord will remind me of a person that I have not thought of before or in a while, just to pray for that person. Or being in the car, I'm turning off the radio. I've stopped turning on the radio. We're such a habit of doing that. And so on the way to work, I got about 20 minutes. And so I try to be quiet and listen, but at the same time, try to pray. If the Lord prompts me to pray something in particular, or praying for deer works, just praying for, the prosperity for them. But just trying to pray more, even though sometimes I really just don't know how to pray and I don't know what to pray for, but to just trying to practice being a little more quiet, but at the same time, praying more out loud. So a mix of those two is what I've been trying to work on the past few weeks.
That's major, man. Don't forget to pray for the really old pastor guy that because I'm one of
Yeah.
those people that's old enough to go to Deerbergs at certain hours or Snooks or wherever. I can get in places.
That's right. You have access.
I was joking with somebody the other day that it used to be when I was a teenagers used to hang around the 7-Eleven trying to get older people to go in and buy them beer. Now we got 25-year-olds hanging around the Deerbergs at 8:00, hoping a 60-year-old will go buy them toilet paper. It's just, things have changed
Right.
a little, but it's just different.
And what's funny about that is the seniors actually buy most of the toilet paper and paper towels. And so there aren't any left because we only get a limited supply. And by 9-10 o'clock, we are out of toilet paper and paper towels.
Those hoarders.
True.
Those
That's
hoarders,
right.
They're terrible.
Which I'm thinking they're probably buying for their families or, the daughter that lives, a couple miles away.
Right.
That's my guess.
PR, I really just wanted to hang out and see you. I told you before we started recording, part of my goal in this is also just to connect with people I really like. And so to get to hang out with you today has been really good. One of the things that we're Don and I are trying to encourage each other about is to ask that question: who are the people in my neighborhood or in my circle that, circle of friends, circle of acquaintances that the Lord might really want to reach in this time? And obviously it's everybody, right? But who are those specific people? And so you were just saying it a minute ago, I so love that. Praying in my car, asking the Lord, who should I be praying for? Who's on your heart about a certain thing? We want to continue to nudge one another. The Bible talks about encouraging, stimulating one another to love and good deeds. And so I appreciate you just reminding me today to be praying and asking the Lord for his Holy Spirit direction about who to pray for, who to reach out to, who to extend a hand to. And so I appreciate that. You always preach to me when we hang out.
And the other thing I was going to tell you was the Lord prompted me a couple weeks ago about praying at 3:14 p.m. for St. Louis and for this virus thing and just folks in my neighborhood. But I didn't know that there was a group called Pray for the Lou at 3:14 p.m. I had no idea. So I just was a little sheltered there. But it was still cool that Jonathan Thomas had told me, did you know that there's a group that's already doing that? I said, no. So that was cool to discover that.
Yeah, the group, they do that. And right before the virus shutdown, we had a Pray for the Lou event, prayed in all 79 of the neighborhoods of the city of St. Louis, walked the streets and prayed. And it was, maybe the Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or something right after that, they shut everything down, but we got to sneak it in on that Saturday. Great. Yeah. Hey, before I let you go, I did want to ask, so you're in the grocery store every day and you're the shipped delivery guy and all of that. How would you encourage people at Southgate or people that watch this that aren't a part of Southgate? How would you encourage us to be praying for, and also how would you encourage us to live and act when we're in the grocery store. So both those things. How should we be praying for those people that are serving us? And then how should we act, and what should be our posture once we're at the store?
Friendliness matters. Kindness matters. Just interact with them and say hello and good morning. You know, all we see is we have to, you know, do our job. And so the virus should never kill kindness.
And I'm writing that down. Say that again. That's a new phrase for me. Go.
The virus should never kill kindness.
Good night, man. That is a phrase. I'll be hashtagging that out there, and I'm giving you no credit. I just want you to know.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Well, the people who watch this video don't totally know I stole it from you, but I love that.
Just a kind word. Just be kind and encouraging, and just praying for safety would be good. But that would be the main things, you know, just go out and say hello. I've had customers come up to me and say, thank you for being here. Thank you for working. And I'm just like, I'm just doing my job. This is what I'm supposed to be doing like I was before the virus, you know, but they're just thankful. So just, you know, kindness goes a long way. A kind word goes a long way. I've been preaching to a lot of people about just speak life to people. Speaking life, saying a kind word, give a compliment. That goes a long way for somebody's day. Doesn't matter who it is. How to be praying is, you know, pray for the safety, pray for strength, and that there would be no fear. Because I'm not just saying this to sound holy or whatever, but I just don't have any fear through all this. I don't have any anxiety about it. I'm not worried, even though, you know, I'm exposed. Jesus is just giving me the peace that passes understanding. I don't need to fear. He's got me. And it encourages me that, you know, that our elders are praying for us every day and that we don't get it. And that's wonderful. But I don't have any anxiety or fear over this. I just don't. And so, yeah.
The virus can't kill kindness, bro. I'm using that. Hey, I know you're not exactly on a couch, but I appreciate you being our cyber couch guest today, because I really do think people need to hear what you just said in particular about I'm out, I'm doing my thing. I got to be 6 feet away, but it doesn't mean my heart has to be 6 feet away. And
correct.
And I can engage with those people at the store or wherever it might be, because they've got a lot of stuff going on in their lives too.
Absolutely. They've got things they're thinking about, and relatives who don't have jobs, and families that they want to hug and visit. And some people know this, some people don't. I've not seen my dad in a few months, and he is living by himself, and he sees my sister 10 minutes a day to change his dressing on his wound. And my heart breaks for the shut-ins, for the ones that just can't get out. So yeah, we need to be praying for them also. We need to be praying for just encouragement for them, and that the Lord would visit them as well.
And your dad's a super guy. So yeah, he deserves better. So we need to be praying for him. DR, thanks for your time. Hug your kids and your wife, and particularly Alicia, my birthday pal. Make sure, give her a big, gigantic hug today and say, this is from Harry.
I will definitely do that. She misses that.
All right. Thank you, my friend. God bless you. Stay safe, stay strong out there. And don't forget, Brian, the virus can't kill kindness.